Okay, on this video we're going to be using bag and round strikes. So various strikes you can use your punch or kick bag for. If you haven't got that, you've got a shield, you can also do the same thing. So just showing you just the angles that you're looking for, both on the hand strikes and the leg strikes. And then you can put these into rounds or you can work them independently. Trying to work on certain things to increase the power. The speed is obviously crucial in that as well, but you don't have to throw everything fast all the time. So take your time, and I'm just going to talk you through some certain points that you need to consider. Okay. Right, so from this position, most of you have been Zen puts your back leg straight, high grades bent back knee. If you're doing it for more sparring work, the back knee will bend, which could be high or low depending on what style of sparring you're doing. So I'm going to do a mix of those things because I'm going to concentrate more on the actual technique. So the first one, we're going to look at ridge hand. So ridge hand is coming round. It can come all the way round. It can come up short. So there's a rotation at the end on all of them. Okay, but it can go, one can go wider, one can come up. It can also come down at an angle. And if you're coming up, it can hit to the groin. So here, you can see position on the bag. I'm coming round with the technique. This is coming up, so it's coming up more direct, and we're twisting and rotating it in, making sure we're transferring from the floor, through the floor, into the hip, and then coming round. We say wrist, but it's actually shoulder. This is shoulder rotation. So from here, so we're coming tight, or wider. We can also use more body weight, so we step off line and hit, which can be with a twist, or it can be with a flat foot. So we're hitting this part of the hand, so we're coming in ridge hand, so we're hitting here, okay? Knife hand, so it's the opposite part of the hand, so we're coming this way, straight, or more effectively coming down, chopping down, coming between shoulder and the head. Okay, so we've got the throat here and neck here, so down. It doesn't have to come up, it could come off of another strike like a hook, so if we're hooking, then it could also come off, or we can hit horizontal. This angle. So again, pulling our fingers in nice and tight, we're hitting with this part of the hand, keep the thumb nice and tight. Make sure your thumbs and fingers are pulled in because this keeps the strength in the wrist, otherwise you'll have a floppy wrist. So you need to make sure that when you're flexing, the tendons then will be tense and that will keep the wrist a lot stronger, okay? So from this position, here, coming down. Okay, so that way, the ridge hand, remember, comes the other way. Now we're going to use hammer fist. So if you see from here, the rotation, again, we're always coming through the floor, pushing our, the reaction force through our body into the rotation of the spine, which is the hip as well, and then it slowly comes through the other joints, okay, which is where we get a finish. On the strike, hammer fist is using this part of the hand, so not the front, not the back fist position here, so it's here, more of like a clubbing action. All right, so from this position here, we're coming up round. So we're trying to first of all learn to generate power through the hammer fist. That's the most important thing. It can be used low when someone's on the floor, obviously. It can be used round to the side of the ribs if you're close. So here, start with you pulling the hand back, but after that you can actually keep your hand up because it could be in a grab position or a hold position when you're striking someone. So here, don't put too much effort in. You're trying to get the flow of the body. So this way, so it can come low, here, high. And don't worry about a guard at the moment. Just concentrate on using the other arm so both arms are working. That is allowing for you for more force, okay? And when you're doing that, the economy of the movement will get better, which means you'll have more energy and you'll be able to go for longer, all right? So from here, low, high, okay? And then you can change the action. You can come opposite as well, all right? Next one we're going to do is palm hand. So we're coming straighter. So it's this position here, okay? We can rise up. We can rise up into and push through. We can hit it with more of a snap. Okay, so it just depends. So this way here, And really depends on your flexion of your fingers and your flexibility, but you're trying to hit here. And of course, if you don't do a lot of conditioning with your hands, then you need it to be effective without it damaging your wrist when you strike someone, okay? So where you hit is very important. Building that strength up, if you use a bag, it's not too heavy to start with, or a shield, make sure it's got a bit of give in it, the person holding it. That is a good start to just get your joints used to hitting with your open hand techniques. It should be used to without gloves, because we don't wear wraps and gloves normally, it's just bare knuckles. So when you train, it's very important you maintain that, even if it's for Olympic sport, karate or semi-continuous fighting, that you do get used to just using your hands, not always putting your gloves on, okay? Because that will get your body used to, obviously, of the reaction force coming through your body when you strike something. So you've got palm hands, knife hands, ridge hands. Remember the ridge hand also, you don't have to do this a lot because you're conditioning it going this way, but hitting into the groin area. But it's not a flick, which we tend to do with a ridge. We're using it, so it's this position here, and you're not flicking the wrist, so keeping that strong as well. So you've got your ridge hands, the palms, your nice, and your hammer fists, and make sure you do both sides. Use a bag or a shield is good. You can also use focus pads, or if you've got a big enough pillow. You just got to be more careful with those things, okay? But if you move on to a bag, then that will be good for the overall conditioning, one of your joints, developing your power, and making sure you're using all of your body weight into the strikes, not just your arm movements. Okay, it's okay to start with, right, when you're doing things, but you need to make sure you're developing and using the reaction force from the floor. Okay, have a go at those techniques.